Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan, and in this week's vlog you will see my interview with Josh Gabriel and Dave Dresden about their classic Arcadia. But before we start with the interview, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and very important, also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And if you enjoy my interviews and you want to support Muzikxpress, you can do that via one of the links in the video description. Every donation is very much appreciated. And thanks to your donations, I will be able to keep doing this. Alright, here it is, the story behind Arcadia, my interview with Gabriel and Dresden. Enjoy! American duo Josh Gabriel and Dave Dresden have been active in the music scene for many years already. You might know them from tracks such as Without You Near, Only Road, This Love Kills Me, Tracking Treasure Down, Portobello, and of course the beautiful Arcadia. For this week's vlog I sat down with Josh and Dave to ask them about the story behind Arcadia and more. My first question to them was how old they were when they started to listen to music.
My parents had records, and so I would listen to 60s folk music and stuff like that at an early age, as early as I can remember. And then one of the records they had was called Switchdown Bach, which was I think it came out in 1968, and it was Bach done on a big modular Moog synthesizer. And you heard of Wendy Carlos? She did the soundtrack to A Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, all that sort of kind of really haunting, classical sounding music that was also done on those old synthesizers. But when I heard that record, the sounds, I was just like mesmerized by the sounds, and also the image of the Moog synthesizer on the record cover, and then that kind of captured my attention.
How for you, Dave?
And for me, I actually, it's kind of a similar story. My parents also had records, and my mom worked from home on a catering business, so she would constantly play music.
Was it disco music they were listening to?
Before, it was like 70s folk music, and like Bob Marley was like something that I heard long before it became popular. And then my parents would have these parties, like occasionally, where they would play disco music, and that's where I was like, I loved it.
Mom, what's this?
Yeah. And like my dad would like go out and buy 12-inch singles of like, to get the extended version.
Wow.
Like I had like learned about all this stuff from my dad's record collection. And then there was a radio station in New York called WKTU that played all disco music. And so you used to have to dial the radio to the frequency. It wasn't a numbers. And so I tuned in this one station that was playing like Rock the Casbah by The Clash, and I thought it was the disco station, but it was actually the new wave station. And I kept on it, and I like listened to all this music, and I was like, what is this weird electronic music? I didn't know what it was called, but it was new wave, and that was really where I fell in love with music.
Yeah. And around what age did you guys start to make your music yourself?
I bought a synthesizer in 1981, so how old was I?
They were 12.
12. And I remember working all summer and saving up for it. I bought a Micro Moog for $300.
You still had it?
No, I was off. It's probably $3,000. Yeah. But I started with that. I also played in the orchestra and the band at school, but my passion was that synthesizer. I would sit around all day long and learn how to use it, and then eventually, and you could only play one note at a time on that thing. And eventually I got a 4-track tape recorder on a cassette. And so I would have, one track would be the drums, and I'd go, and then play a bass line, another track, and, you had 4 tracks, and it was song. Man, I wish, what I would give to get those tapes. They don't exist anymore.
For you, Dave?
I got into production through DJing, because my parents wanted me to go to college, but I didn't want to. So like my high school senior year, I discovered this club in Greenwich, Connecticut, where Moby was DJing before he was famous. And I just was like so into what he was doing, and like all the music he was playing, and like, and so I asked him like, how do you make the records flow into each other like that? And so he like gave me his number and like told me to come over, and he showed me how to do it, and then the rest, they say, is history. And like his career trajectory inspired me to like, that you could do this as a career, and that like one day I want to make music. Yeah. And it wasn't until I met Josh where it actually came together, like, because he wanted my DJ input, and he is just a genius synth programmer and arranger and mixer. It just, you know, we combined our experiences together.
It's like a perfect combination.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the sum was greater than its parts.
Yeah. So for this walk, we're going to talk about Arcadia, a beautiful 10-minute progressive track which came out back in the year 2005. Was there anything that inspired you guys when you started to work on Arcadia?
Well, 10 minutes, so that was a short song back. You know, I think that track, the inspiration for that track was sort of the meeting of progressive house and new wave. You know, as you know, the electric bass part in the middle. You know, where maybe it's not apparent, but there's an electric bass part going through.
Oh, it's some boom, 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 boom.
So it's like we were, it was in our minds, that was kind of dance music, new wave band, and just, I think it was reflective of the records we were inspired by at the time.
Yeah, like Forwards.
Yeah.
Definitely we got the swinginess from the Forwards track.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Burns.
Yeah. I think it was also based on a remix you guys did.
Yeah. Well, what happened was we were asked to do the Nip Tuck soundtrack, like mix it like a DJ. It wasn't a DJ mixable songs, but so they wanted us to remix the theme song and mix the album. So we really love the sounds from that remix, The Perfect Line. And so the next day we were like, let's try to make a house track out of these sound set. And that's pretty much how that came together. The only thing that's different is that the electric bass and the breakdown wasn't the sound set from Perfect Lie.
Yeah. So what else do you remember from the production process of Arcadia?
Well, back then we would have synth parts with lots of effects, lots of dub effects, and then also lots of chopping. So, recording bits of the music and then chopping it up. So, for example, you'll hear the turnarounds. There's like with just these little bits of audio. So we back then we used to say we're not done until we've chopped something up. I mean, what was the Jan song? Enemy.
Yeah.
If you listen to Enemy, it also is like very, very chopped. It's a piano riff
and a guitar.
But there's no one note that lasts for longer than a quarter of a second. Because it's like dang, 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 dang. You kind of hear that now with Stutterhouse a little bit, but it's like
for sure.
We stole it from you guys.
I don't know about that, but we definitely were chopping things up.
Yeah. So what kind of equipment was used for Arcadia?
Logic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we have that move back then?
We did not have the move yet.
All right.
So I know what was done in the guys for this.
So it was all.
We were actually living in Twin Peaks.
Oh.
This was the 545 Corbett place.
We didn't finish it in San Leandro?
We finished it in San Leandro for the release, but most of it was made in that place with the beautiful San Francisco view.
But it's all the synths, all the effects, it's all inside Logic.
Yeah. So what was the most difficult part of the production?
It's always the mixing.
That was actually one of the few tracks that we made within a few days.
But it's the mixing. There's a lot of parts, a lot of different things going on. So getting it to sound the way to feel the way we want it to feel.
So is there a story behind the title Arcadia as well?
Yeah. So I was in the process of buying a home in Oakland, and so I went to my realtor and I was listening to the song in the car, and she got in the car and I was like, check the song Josh and I made yesterday, and she's feeling it, and she's in her 50s, not really a clubber, but she really liked it, and she's like, why don't you name it Arcadia? because that was the street name of the home that I was buying.
Oh.
And so I was like, that's actually a really good name.
Yeah. So that was how the name was born.
Yes, and I told Josh, he loved it, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So do you remember who the first person was besides the two of you who got to listen to Arcadia once you finished it? Or maybe it was Stuart Bills or that move?
Yes,
I don't know.
Tiesto?
You played things for people more
I
than
think it was Tiesto, either that or Armin, one of those.
So yeah, Arcadia is the very first track you can find on your mix compilation Bloom, which came out in September 2004. So that version is slightly different than the retail version that came out in March 2005.
Yes.
and it was the first song on our label.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nature.
Uh-huh.
So was the song already made with like, okay, this is going to be the first song on our own label, or?
Well, we made it with the interest of maybe signing it to the label that we signed Lament to called Saw, but they weren't really into it because it probably was a little too trancy for them. Mm-hmm. So we were that's when we just decided to do the label because we were just tired of waiting for labels.
Just do it ourselves.
Yeah, because like in the previous interview we spoke about As the Rush Comes.
Uh-huh.
I remember that you guys were like, yeah, there was no label up. It's like it was like, what the hell?
I mean, we've been two house for trance and two trance for house for a long time.
So do you remember which DJs did support Arcadia?
Tiesto, Armin, Deep Dish, a lot of DJs.
Yeah, because Chester put it on his In Search of Sunrise Latin America revelation.
Uh-huh.
And he was a huge supporter of your tracks, because he also put his As the Rush Comes Home Indiana, and yeah, he did what?
He also gave us a remix, In My Memory.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's just why true. I would say, do you think, like, for example, like the support from Chester and Armin and like the In Search of Sunrise compilation, did it help to...
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because like mixed compilations back then were like the radio. They would launch songs into the public consciousness.
It was also good for the label, for the name of the label.
Yeah. So it was amazing having all those guys support our music because they were playing to the largest crowds too.
So do you remember played Arcadia yourself for the first time in a club or at a party?
I don't remember the first time, but
We played it a lot, and that's where we realized that we needed to add some additional drums to it.
So what's your favorite memory when it comes to the release of Arcadia?
I just remember feeling good that we decided to do the label, and
Yeah.
that it was a nice feeling knowing that the music we were making was gonna represent us on our own label, and it was just the start of something. That's what it felt like.
I think it was a good start for the label.
Yeah.
Great track. So yeah, in 2025, it's 20 years ago since Arcadia came out. Do you have anything in mind already for the 20th anniversary, or not really?
You know, I have the parts to it somewhere. On one
To find the parts and do an updated mix.
I would love to.
It could definitely use an updated mix to help.
Yeah, because I think the sound is still like for these days.
The music is, but the mix is not up to par.
Yeah,
Right.
And you just told me you spent so long on the mix.
Yeah, but you get better. You improve in 20 years.
Yeah, no.
It's just also the ability
And the technology has changed.
the technology to get basses bassier and kicks bigger. It's all, we didn't have that stuff back then because we didn't have that much processing power, and now you have so much more processing power and you can get things much bigger.
So in May of this year, you guys did release an EP called Kinetic Cinema on Anjuna Beats. What can you tell us about that release?
Well, Josh, we were originally going to make an EP called the Bias EP, and then Josh unfortunately had a heart attack almost exactly 2 years ago, and so Josh, I said to Josh, do what you need to do to get better. Don't worry about music making. Don't worry about anything. So we kind of put the Bias EP on hold, and we waited for Josh to get better. And so like last year we started just messing around with some things, and we made the track called The Clearing. In like one day we were like on Zoom. We tried Zoom for the first time, where his sound would come through my mixer. It wouldn't, we used to make music on Skype where we just, the microphone of the computer would broadcast, but I actually got to hear Josh making the track. And so it was like really, really easy to communicate. Like, this needs to be bigger, and this needs to be more, this drum needs to be more louder or whatever. And so it was just really nice to make music like that again with Josh, where we were like really collaborating.
And it was also the first time in a long time that we said, let's just suspend all thinking of what we should be making.
Right, and
let's just have fun, and let's just make music for music's sake, and that's really what we were doing.
Yeah, I think that works way better instead of being forced, like, okay, what's popular now? And
there's a lot of pressure to make something, because you don't release a lot of music, so there's a lot of pressure to make something great and make something that's going to be successful. And since we didn't have a run rate at that point, we hadn't done anything, over a couple of years. We were like, let's just give ourselves a break and not worry about anything. And that turned out to be the best advice we could have given ourselves.
So yeah, how have the reactions on the EP been so far?
I think great.
Really good. In fact, one of the goals that I had sort of set out for us in this new music making period was to like make tracks that DJs are going to play. And DJs played this EP. Like,
it's the first time in a while that it felt like it was embraced by a group of people.
Yeah.
Like, DJs played the remixes of our album tracks on Anjuna, but our versions, we played them, but like DJs en masse didn't. But like tons of DJs have played Kinetic Cinema and The Clearing, and it just feels good to be supported again by your fellow artists.
Yeah. So are you guys working on new music already?
Well, we're in the process of changing the way we make music, leaving the computer and getting analog synths and guitar pedals, and so that we can go back to basics and make music and have fun.
Yeah.
And actually put our hands on the gear again, because I think in this age where everybody has the same computer, and if you have enough money, you have all the plugins in the world and access to all the same sounds. The one thing that we have that not everybody has is we grew up in the 80s. We have a sensibility of that music and those sounds. And, I grew up with those synthesizers, and, there's a lot of them being reissued by different companies. And so being able to have those characters again at our disposal and see how we can make music with them in a way limits our world from the computer in a way that we think is going to allow us to have more fun and make music, like music that inspires us. So that's I'd say, when in the next few months there should be a studio that's working again, and the plan is to go back and just make a lot of music.
Yeah, I like that.
I said to Josh last year, like when he was recovering, I was like, what is going to be fun for you?
Yeah, you did say that.
And because I want to bring back the fun. Because I had just done a classics tour, which reminded me of making music with Josh and the fun that we used to have. Like every day was fun, and the occasional fights, but mostly fun. And so a lot of these synths are synths that Josh owned or dreamed of owning, and so I'm excited to have fun with Josh again. We have had so much fun, and we actually had fun making Kinetic Cinema and on all those tracks. But it's kind of soul crushing, like digging through samples and stuff instead of actually just making it on your own with cool synthesizers.
So in the next few months, we can expect some new Gabriel Dresden stuff, hopefully.
Yes, I don't know how many months, but yes. Yeah. Once we get the studio up, then it'll be quick.
We're aiming to make tracks quick so that we still love them when we're finishing them. And that's really Kinetic Cinema, all those tracks got made relatively quickly, and we were still in love with it when it was done.
So will it probably be also Anjuna Beats then, or?
We don't know.
We want to take away the pressure of the label.
Yeah.
We make the music and then figure out what works. Yeah.
Because if you think I'm going to make this for Anjuna Deep, then you're listening to all the Anjuna Deep artists and wondering how you're going to fit in. And rather than, we just want to make great music and then see where it lands.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good idea.
I mean, maybe we'll start up Organized Nation. I don't know.
So are there still people you want to work with, like vocalists or producers?
Well, we always joked, over the years that, there's people that we grew up listening to The Cure, all sorts of, new wave artists that still make music today, and we would love to work with some of them, but you never know.
Yeah, never say never.
We're open. We like collaborating, so
Yeah.
And we always drop that we'd love to work with you too, but it still hasn't reached the band yet.
So is er zoveel bij jou? What can this music wise?
Yeah, being able to have the freedom to just make music. Yeah, that's on our bucket list.
I would love to make another song that connects with people like As the Rush Comes did.
Yeah.
Like, that was a beautiful feeling of bringing people that amount of joy through a song.
Yeah, that's when it was a track. Was it from 2003? I think.
Yeah, 2003, 2004, depends where you were.
Still be played at festival, and
Yeah.
I often hear it still on the radio. So yeah, would. So before my last question, so how's your health now? Are you doing good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Following all the doctor's orders, getting lots of exercise, eating good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really proud of how Josh
Yeah.
took his health back, and it inspired me too to really take care of my health, because
So there's a glass of water here. So.
yeah, this would have been whiskey. And so I think that we're both really in a good spot health wise to have the focus to make this music.
Okay, good. And the last question: pineapple pizza, yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I love Hawaiian pizza because I like the salt.
Even if I liked it, I couldn't say yes because I'm too much of the Italian food purist.
Oh, yeah.
There's no way I could ever say yes. I get shot. Dude.
Well, I did an interview with Giuseppe Ottaviani, and he's Italian, and he loves pineapple pizza. So. All right, thanks a lot for your time, guys. Good luck on everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, that was it. This week's vlog, my interview with Gabriel and Dresden, and the story behind Arcadia. Josh and Dave, thanks a lot for your time. Much appreciated. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and very important, make sure to subscribe. Also make sure to click the bell button, because then you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. And I did another interview with the guys, and in that one we're gonna talk about Tracking Treasure Down, which of course is another big Gabriel and Dresden classic. That interview will be online in a couple of weeks from now, so stay tuned. And a few years ago I also did an interview with them about their motorcycle classic As the Rush Comes. You can find that interview on my channel already, plus of course there's a link in the video description, so make sure to check it out. Once again, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye bye.